welcome back, Bikeaholics. Ryan Erdocker here with lawabidingbiker.com. Thanks for checking back in before we get started. Reason is, it's 110 degrees here today, guys, and that's outside. Inside this shop today, probably about 85, 90. We're trying to keep it cool, but you know what? We care about you guys. Videos by bikers, for bikers. We're gonna do this project anyways. You see behind me, my 2014 Street Light Special. Of course, you guys know from the factory, Harley's putting in not so good of headlights, basically. They're pretty dim. They don't look real good, so a lot of guys are changing their headlights out. We get a lot of questions on it, Lurch and I, via email and that kind of thing. So we decided in this particular bike, what we're gonna do today in this hot shot for you guys is we're gonna put in a Kuryakyn Phase 7 LED headlight. I've heard good things about these things, and definitely likely gonna be brighter. A lot of guys talk about the Harley Davidson Day Maker headlights, although I think they're really good headlights. Obviously, they're way, way overpriced for what they are because it's Harley Davidson. So that's why I decided about half the price. I got the Phase 7 LED from Kuryakyn, and we will do some testing at the end of the video. I'll take you out, I'll show you at night what this stock headlight looks like, and then of course, after we do the install, I will say that you really need to check your year of motorcycle, your year of Harley, and because the 2014 and on requires a special connector kit that I had to order with it. With that said, let's get sweaty and start wrenching on this thing, huh? All right, and so to get this headlight installed, Lurch is working on we're gonna get the windshield off. There's 3 bolts along the top. They're T-Torx 27. What he always does, this is how much we work together. I already know he's gonna leave the center one in. He's gonna pull the other 2, and then he'll pull the windshield out. The reason you leave that center one is because that way the fairing can hang on there and it won't fall. When he takes the 2 inside bolts out off of each side, which we'll get to here in a minute. But he'll just finish that. Again, he's just gonna leave the center one in there. And now he just takes the windshield out like that. He's leaving that center one in. All right, and with that same T27, he's up on the inside of the fairing. He's got one there and one up top on the 2014 and on. And he's just gonna back those out. And if you have an older model Harley Davidson, you'll have to get up. There's one more. There's one up underneath the forks. You have to turn the handlebars to get up in there where he's pointing. But they made it a lot easier on 2014 and on. Again, both sides, and then we'll go back up and take that last one out where we left it with the windshield, and we'll get this front fairing off here and unplug the headlight. And he's got all the inside ones up. Of course, that last one hanging there. And then you can put a towel over your fender if you want, because you wouldn't want to drop this on your fender. But Lurch has done it enough. We're going to take it down, and then he's got to unplug a headlight. We'll show you what that looks like. All right, and he's inside here. He's got 2 plugs that he's going to take off. They're just pinch on both sides and pull. So you're peeking at the inside of the fairing here. Of course, that's the headlight connector. We pulled that off that stock. It's pretty simple on this particular model. Of course, there's a Christmas tree there. That's just stock. It kind of organizes the stock plug. And then there's just a couple tabs, or there's a tab on the top there. And he pulls that back, disconnects, all right. And with this particular model, and then we'll talk about other models, but this particular model is pretty easy. With that extra harness that came with it, it's a plug and play type system. And it basically changes everything in from 1 plug into that, from 2 plugs stock into that 1 plug for low and high beam. Now we can talk about what you may have to do if you have FLHR models or different models. All right, so we're just not gonna get too involved here, guys, but just be aware if you have it's a little different if you have an FLHRC or an FLHR, yeah, I guess an FLHRC is what we're talking about. And that is that it's probably not, you're still gonna have to get the little pigtail, the extra connector that we did, but it's not a plug and play type system. You're basically gonna snip your plug off. You have to snip it, and then you have to color code and butt connect wires. Like I said, we're not gonna get too involved, but you know, this video may not work if you have an FLHR C model. There's specific instructions for that. There is a blue wire you won't even use. That's for international. Again, it's going to depend on your application, but for us, it's just a plug and play. But we did want to mention that, so check your instructions. Hopefully you're enjoying the video. If you want to make sure that content and these free videos keep coming your way, there is a way you can support us. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. The community is growing over there. We'd like to have you involved too. There's no risk over there. You can sign up for a certain level and pay a certain amount per piece of content with a cap. Absolutely no risk. There are some benefits over there. T-shirts and a private Facebook group and some premium content. All depends on what level you sign up as. but that is a way that you can assure the content keeps coming your way. lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Of course, if you ever want to just leave a flat donation, we do accept that too and appreciate it. lawabidingbiker.com/donate. Don't forget to check out that weekly podcast, guys. It's on fire. Ton of content we're putting out. Get involved over there. It's the Law Abiding Biker Podcast. All right, let's get back into your video. All right, and on the very bottom, we got to take this stock headlight out. There's just a Phillips screw that he's going to take out. There's kind of a retaining clip on top that the headlight bezel there hangs on. Then you rotate it counterclockwise about a quarter turn. Your ring pops off, and now underneath there you're going to see he's going to start working on the 3 screws. You don't have to do all your screws. A lot of those are headlight adjuster screws, so you don't need to take the whole thing out. He's just going to work on the 3, and that's the little ring there that sucks the headlight back in there and actually secures it. So just make sure that you're hitting the right ones there. If you do need to adjust your headlight later, of course you could use the other ones, but all we want is that metal ring off. And once the metal ring is off there, that frees up the stock headlight. Now we can get the old Phase 7 LED in there. All right, and that's the Kuryakyn Phase 7 LED. It's marked top, so make sure you're putting it in right for high beam and low beam. Of course, now you can just set that back in there and basically repeat the process. It's all lined up. He'll bring that 1 chrome ring in, and he's going to put the 3 screws back in it. And then we'll get the bezel back over. All right, and he's just snugging up the last one for that chrome ring there. Don't over tighten these guys, just get them a little snug. You'll strip them right out if you start cranking on them. Of course, then the bezel comes back into play, and that lines up one way. And remember that retaining pin is at the top, guys, or that retaining clip. Now get that all turned into place, and then remember it's got the 1 at the very bottom. As you can see, turned it quarter turn there. He'll line everything up. All right, and as you can see, he's got the new headlight in. Of course, it's all 1 plug now. The stock was 2. We've converted into 1. He's plugging it in. You can put a little dielectric grease in there if you'd like. It does come with it. And then he'll start getting the fairing seated back up here. All right, and again, putting the fairing back up there. He's just going to get that center one started just to kind of hold the fairing. He's just barely going to start the other 2 because we still need to, at the very end, slip the windshield back in there. Then we'll go get the inside fairing bolts, the 4, 2 on each side. All right, and Lurch just working on those inside. Remember, there's a top and bottom one on both sides. There's 2. Just note they are 2 different sizes. Your longer bolt goes in the top, and the shorter one goes in the bottom. Both sides, and he'll just, don't over tighten those guys. We just get them just a little tight. Your fairing will hold just fine. All right, and he just, of course, had those loose, and he's just sliding the windshield back in there, getting it all lined up. And we will tell you guys, a lot of guys strip these out. Really, nothing's going to happen. Just barely tighten those things because they are easy to strip out. We've had this fairing and windshield off tons of times, and they're still working fine. That's because we don't tighten them very much. Just a little tip. All right, and last but not least, we'll fire it up, make sure everything is working. There you go, and he's going to adjust between high beam. Of course, that's low beam, and then the bottom goes on for high beam. That's an LED Kuryakyn Phase 7. And stay tuned in the video because I'm going to take you out on a night ride. We will do the stock OEM headlight, and then the difference we will show you with the Kuryakyn Phase 7. If you're not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you are really missing out. We have a ton of videos in the works for you guys, so get subscribed. Also sign up for the free email club, lawabidingbiker.com/email club. We will shoot you an email when we come out with new free videos. Also, do not forget to check out that weekly podcast. It's the Law Abiding Biker Podcast. It's heard worldwide. All right, peace out.